Hello, Stacks community. My name is Daniel, and I'm working on a grant project with the Stacks Foundation to get the Stacks blockchain working as an Umbrel app. Umbrel is an app platform for running local services. Want to run your own self-hosted Get, photo library, or Bitcoin node? Once installed, Umbrel can set those up for you with a couple clicks. The latest update from the Umbrel App team opens the door for more apps to be added to the Umbrel App Store. These apps are basically Docker containers set up to work within the Umbrel environment. This is a perfect place to add the Stacks blockchain. As a developer, it is easy to run through the well-written Stacks documentation to configure and run the Docker containers required for a Stacks node. Umbrel eliminates the need for developer experience and even offers a local Bitcoin node to sync to. Currently on the project, the Stacks node is running in the Umbrel environment with an MVP status page. The data on the status page is live. As you can see, my Stacks node is currently 73% in sync with the network. Additionally, the integration work for the Stacks Explorer has started as well. This Stacks on Umbrel work is just the beginning of Stacks services on Umbrel. We are hoping to bring LN Swap and start expanding on the Stacks services that are readily available to devs and non-devs alike. So go get your own Umbrel server syncing with the Bitcoin blockchain, so you'll be ready when Stacks hits the Umbrel App Store. Thanks, and have a great day.
Hi, I'm Farouk. We are working on Leos, a decentralized learn-to-earn platform on Stacks. This project started as part of Clarity Camp Cohort 2, and we have been working on this thanks to a generous grant from the Stacks Foundation. My colleague Adnan will have more to say about Leos next.
Leos is a decentralized learning platform where all the stakeholders, that is creators, curators, learning enablers, get rewarded proportionally, and where the stakeholders are not dependent solely on a single entity. We plan to release Leos, its very first course, Stacks Introduction, by mid-July on the testnet. It's a simple course that targets newbies to the Stacks platform. Someone who is familiar with Web3 and crypto but does not know Stacks will get a basic grip on Stacks. How? By doing it. Simple and short exercises. The other Web3 aspect we emphasize is that we verify your progress on the blockchain. So there is proof of your coursework completed. The course has 8 basic modules that you can progress through. Using some of the dApps in the Stacks ecosystem, you'll get the basic hang of it and get familiar with some of the popular dApps of the Stacks. You'd be set up to be curious and equipped to keep learning as you may need. Beyond the introductory course on Stacks, we intend to open up as a service to the Stacks ecosystem dApps. Projects and companies that want to set up their own learn-to-earn course as a custom acquisition channel, Leos is ready to help you. We believe this effective user acquisition tactics does not have to be developed from scratch by every project in Stacks. Leos will set you up.
Thank you all for your time. Please join us on the Leos journey as we seek to get the next billion people onto the Stacks platform. Please go to leos.guru and enter the waitlist. Thank you all.
Hello everyone, I'm Deployer, the wizard dev of Stacks Degens. My main focus is to build GameFi secured by Bitcoin through Stacks, including the transition towards the most wanted gaming features and the creation of their respective smart contracts. The grant increased my chances to develop the apps I want, by allowing me to combine the technologies I already know with the latest programming languages I've learned in the process. It also improved the structure and planning of the project, so everything could go as smooth as possible. From the standpoint of a developer, one main tip for the first-time grantees would be the following. Pick something that adds real value to the Stacks ecosystem, being it end users, developers, businesses, and that you'll actually enjoy implementing. The community is a cool one. Devs are gladly helping each other, mainly through the Discord group, and there are multiple open source GitHubs such as the Hero 1, where you can submit issues and get feedback from the team. All in all, find something that brings true value and that you really enjoy doing. You will definitely find the resources you need and the people to help you on your journey. I can't emphasize this one enough, the importance of open source tech, since it was definitely the starting point for me. Being a gaming enthusiast, I had experience with game development on multiple platforms, but without open source resources such as the Stacks libraries, the app examples, and videos, Stacks Degens would have never become a reality. This is the reason why we are also developing the projects that helps the whole ecosystem in their development in the open source manner, so that our products, libraries, and resources we are sharing can stand as a base for others to further build upon. Furthermore, when a software is open sourced, the community can actively participate in its development through anything from submitting bugs to actually creating and updating features, which benefits the overall ecosystem.
Hey everyone, Chiara here from the Whitelabel team to give our June 30th update. As a reminder, the end goal for our residency is to scale Clarity Education and introduce more developers into the Stacks ecosystem. Some of the things we've accomplished since our last update, we completed the Miami Web3 Developer Camp. We were just in Miami for the Miami for Everyone hackathon, during which we delivered a Clarity workshop. We had 4 teams of students form from the Miami camp. And we received 10 project submissions to the hackathon that included Clarity and City Coins in some way. We delivered a Clarity workshop at Empire DAO during NFT NYC. We partnered with the Stacks Pre-Accelerator to deliver a 4-day crash course starting July 5th. We are launching virtual Clarity Camp number 3 that is starting July 11th. We're launching an Austin-based Clarity Camp starting in August. And we have scheduled 2 successive camps, virtual Clarity Camp number 4, and then another virtual Clarity Camp with the goal to end at a hackathon at Bitcoin Unleashed, South Korea. We also have tentative camps scheduled for Q4. We're looking at a second Miami-based camp, a Milwaukee developer camp, and virtual Clarity Camp number 5. We have also started to outline a new Code Academy syllabus. This will consist of expansion on the current content available. We will be adding in more code examples and project examples. We will also be adding knowledge checks at the end of each section, as well as some code challenges. If you want to follow us and keep up on what we're doing, Akansha and I are both on Twitter, Discord, and can be reached through email. Thank you.
Morning, my name is Dan Trevino. I work with the Boom team. My residency is focused on boomboxes. That's the NFTs, the protocol, the tooling, and the smart contracts. The goal is to bring engagement and fundraising tools to creators, product teams, whoever may need it. We also want to bring high quality NFTs to the Stacks community as an additional reward for locking your stacks. So what are boomboxes? They're limited edition NFTs, passive income via proof of transfer protocol. They provide liquidity for your stacking rewards, so you can sell your boombox in the middle of the reward cycle if you choose to do so. Owner of the NFT at the end of the cycle will get the payout from those rewards. And fundamentally, they're a series of smart contracts in Clarity. So what are we doing since the last update? Well, one of the tools that we use to make boomboxes more accessible is Boom Wallet. And as I mentioned last time, Boom Wallet is getting split out into its own standalone mobile wallet. over the last couple of weeks, we've added stacking, kind of basic stacking functionality into the Boom wallet. So you'll be able to stack directly from the Boom wallet. You'll be able to leverage Friedger pool if you choose to do so in any of the number of reward cycles. You'll be able to continue to use Boomboxes, of course. And we've also added mining for New York City coin and Miami coin into this. So you have the option to do any of those directly from within the wallet. Now, unrelated to Boomboxes themselves, NoteRiot is a tool that I had mentioned in our last update, is a tool that we used built on the Blockstack platform years ago. It's being updated to use the current Stacks authentication. And if you remember the screenshots from last update, we've simplified some of the UI. We continue to have some of the simple actions right there on the nodes that you can make changes. We've got filtering by favorites, by colors, by labels, and that continues to be worked on. We should have an update, final release here shortly. That's all I have for this month. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Again, my name is Dan Trevino. We're at boom_wallet on Twitter, and you've got our Discord here on the screen too. Thank you.
Hey everyone, Thomas here from Fungible Systems. Really excited to give you an update on our residency and the work that we've been doing. At a high level, we've been working on kind of new tooling or research around API primitives. What that means is just ways that certain services can be broken up around indexing data on stacks to make it easier to build kind of like custom or bespoke data indexers for specific contracts or use cases. And so for the past few months, we've been doing a lot of research and writing proof of concept code, breaking apart kind of like the APIs that exist today and exploring different architectures for, kind of more scalable services in the future. Been in talks with certain other entities in the ecosystem who are really interested in kind of building really fleshed out data indexing services. And so for us, our next step is kind of continuing talks with those folks in the ecosystem and seeing how we can take the research that we've done at Fungible Systems and the proof of concept code and kind of hopefully work together with another partner to bring a product to market that can kind of really deliver on building kind of, like graph style data indexing solutions. So you can kind of, let's say you wanted to build something like stacking.club, the API, you could pretty easily do that without needing to handle a lot of, you don't need to run a stacks node, things like that. You kind of just get access to a stream of data that then you can kind of transform as you want. So yeah, really excited. I recently, about a month ago or a couple weeks ago, I put out a blog post just kind of detailing kind of the new architecture that I've been really interested in exploring. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Really excited. Our residency is almost up, but I'm going to continue hopefully working with some of these other ecosystem partners and really try and drive this forward, because I think there's going to be some really exciting stuff coming out. But yeah, thanks so much.
Hello, my name is Friedger, and I'm contributing to the Stacks ecosystem already for a few years. And I'm now here as the identity advocate as the Stacks Foundation. And I'm working on digital profiles, so that are not profiles that are issued by the government, but by yourself. So you own your profiles, and it's mainly about recognizing accounts and addresses, make life easier for users, whether they have a username or not. And it is also about the W3C standard verifiable credentials. That's a bit what I want to work in the future. What I did so far is NFT profiles. So I created the smart contract and deployed it and created UI where you can choose an NFT as your profile. So no username required, just an NFT. You can check it out on the Stacks profile app. it's a demonstration app. So it's not yet a place where you want to send your users to find your profile. I'm still working on it so that we find a good home for your profiles. And next on is getting the public profiles integrated into Hero Wallet and other wallets. There's a GitHub issue that you can check. And I'm working with O.Link to get verifiable credentials with that represents verification about your Twitter account. So some social proof for your account. And as usual, you find information on the blog, web3.id, and Stacks profile GitHub repo. And what I want to start as well is every Tuesday have office hours about profiles. So if you want to build something around that, then feel free to book an appointment. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, good morning. I'm Ileana, NFT resident. I'm here to help support and onboard artists to create NFT collections here on Stacks. My residency is for 1 year and it began in February. So last month, we kicked off the first NFT worldwide series of events, which took place in Amsterdam. The purpose of the events in general are firstly to inspire artists that are looking to transition into Web3 through NFT galleries that are featuring different Stacks projects and utility, educational fireside chats and panel discussions with both artists, brands, and also Stacks reps, and start building those relationships with more commercial brands. So a bit of an overview for the Amsterdam event. Took place at Soho House, which is kind of the home to all creatives and artists in Amsterdam. We've had a series of different activations, included a panel discussion discussing leveraging NFTs for artists and brands. We created an NFT with This Is Number One and DJ Cliff, so it worked as an entrance to the event. Drinks token throughout the evening, and they also will receive an exclusive drop of the DJ set that evening. We had some great attendees looking at brands. We had Philips, Nike, Adidas there, Klarna, Tesla, Tommy Hilfiger, and a lot more. So on achievements, we had over 350 attendees, which were exposed to 25 different projects on Stacks. And we saw 180 plus experts wallets created and claimed NFTs from the event. Taking a look at the Mintery, Cohort 1, Lucid dropped his Multiverse FM collection during Web3 Week and sold out. And we have just launched Hungry Artists and Your Like Flowers collection this week. So please go and check them out on Cohort 2 in order to make sure that we're giving the best possible program to the artists. We decided to take a little bit of time to tweak that further. In the meantime, we're continuing to onboard different mentors, partners, and sponsors. As for wins, you might have seen we now officially have our Twitter account, so please feel free to go and check us out and give us a like there. In the meantime, feel free to reach out. You can find my email, Twitter, and Discord handles just below, and we'll be more than happy to chat. Thanks for your time.
Hello guys, my name is Robin and I represent the Toggle team. We are working on the Gaia storage system and we are trying to improve it and to add features to it. Our final goal for the residency will be to release a new version of Gaia that is way more user-friendly than the version right now. And for that, I will give you a quick recap on what happened in the past few weeks. First of all, we finally released the first draft of our Gaia white paper, and it also has been revised by various community members, and the revision also has been worked in. Also, we looked into driver models because we feel the need that right now with GCP, Azure, AWS, that's not enough, and we want to give the users more freedom to decide where to store the data. And for that, we are looking into IPFS, OwnCloud, and Nextcloud. For the package updates, or more rather, we also upgraded the entire Gaia project at the moment. We updated each and every package so far. We created our first pull request for that, and we also fixed the GitHub CI/CD pipeline. So yeah, the next goal for that will be to switch from CommonJS to ESM. So yeah, that has been our quick update. If you guys want to reach out to us, here is a list of our socials. And also we are available at the Discord residency channel, of course. So feel free to message us and ask us whatever. So thanks for listening and have a great weekend. Yeah, have a great weekend.
Morning all, I'm Mike. I'm working at the Clarity Lab with Marvin. Our goal is to promote and support the adoption of Clarity, simply the best smart contract programming language in the world. Quick look at the Stacks improvement process board shows that there's some really interesting proposals in the pipeline. I'm delighted to say that SIP 13 on semi-fungible tokens is now accepted, and SIP 18 has moved into activation in progress. Taproot is starting to feed through to Stacks with some big improvements in the pipeline, especially in the area of proof of transfer mining. Taproot promises all kinds of new and interesting capabilities for Stacks. Launchpad is a small app that we've been developing. The goal is to make it really easy for DAO projects to bootstrap on the Stacks network. The project enters its configuration data into the UI, which is then injected into the contracts. The project can decide on the extensions to enable, what to call their governance token, and who their core team is. When ready, the project can deploy the contract from inside the application. Ecosystem DAO is the project I'm most excited to talk about today. Clarity Lab have been busy working on this DAO for the Stacks community. The project is underway. The mission is to empower and engage. The DAO will be driven by the community, and our goals are to get it off the ground fairly and safely. The DAO will use liquid democracy and provide the ability to delegate your votes to representatives. The Stacks community will decide the aims of the DAO, but we hope it will be used to engage people in core activities of the Stacks network. It could be used to signal support for activating SIPs, for example, or even possibly for in supporting grant applications. The lab doesn't have all the resources it needs to pull this off alone, and we're looking for collaboration and participation. In particular, we are currently working on a grant application to be able to pay for help with the design and branding of the front-end application, and also the testing. Please reach out to Marvin or myself on Discord if you want to get involved. Thanks very much for listening.
Hi everyone, MattySTX here. I'm focused on tokenomics and helping builders optimize their tokenomics, get the resources they need to make the best design decisions for the tokenomics for the long run. I recently released a canvas that helps protocol builders do just that, called the Tokenomics Design Canvas. You can find the canvas itself in Excel format or Google Sheets format, as well as a PDF format, and you can get a YouTube tutorial walkthrough of it, all on Linktree/tokenomics. This link is available directly from my Twitter as well, at MattySTX. So if you go to Twitter at MattySTX, you can click the link in my bio to get here, or you can type in your browser, Linktree/tokenomics. And I have the design canvas released, the YouTube tutorial. I'm also starting to work with the tokenomics of Stacks itself. So digging into various proposals for improvements to proof of transfer. And in order to do that, starting to do some actual data analysis on the history of proof of transfer mining. And there's a lot of different data to aggregate to do that correctly, but have been doing that and getting into modeling shortly. And that will help us decide, help the whole protocol kind of think through next steps for improvements to proof of transfer, which affects the tokenomics of Stacks itself.
Hello everyone, I'm Haas. I'm part of the Stacks Governance Lab. Our goal is to build sustainable governance systems that are inspired and guided by the indigenous modes of governance that aim to represent the community interests and form long-term sustainable relationships in the Stacks community.
At the moment, we're working on community grants, which is something that aims to give access and ownership to the grants process to the whole community, starting with a small set of really interconnected and interdependent individuals in the advocates community.
Responsibility and accountability should also translate, outside of the human interactions to actual on-chain actions. That includes something that we've developed recently that's called the MicroDAO. The MicroDAO would allow one person to be observing, another person to be administrating, and the third person to be working and feeling that they actually have the commitment required for them to do that work through a smart contract that stands between the three parties. To connect with us, you can find us in Discord, here in the advocates community under the Advox DAO, or you can connect with Harold or Haas, WDC.
Hi, my name is Puji from Stacks Chapter Indonesia. We are focusing on education and developers. We are here to help Stacks community with supply of new untouched users in Indonesia, as well as talented developers. Because there is a lot of talented developers here in Indonesia. And in the next 3 months, we'll focus on with the first Web3 bootcamp on Clarity and DApp development in Indonesia. And we are partnering with Remote Skills Academy here in Bali. And we also run the first series of NFT podcasts featuring a lot of seasoned Bitcoin builders as well as NFT builders. And next, we also want to plan on our upcoming Bitcoin Bali conference next year. And we also running a couple of community meetups focuses on developer Web3 education. For example, wallet, exchanges, liquidity, security, and also developer-focused stuff like Clarity, smart contract, and so on. And in the next 6 to 12 months, we'll focus on in sustainability, Bitcoin Bali Conference 2023. And if you want to learn more about our program, you can engage with us in stacksnesia.id and also our Telegram in t.me/stacksindonesia. Thank you.
Hi, friends. I'm Virginia Creasy with the Austin Stacks chapter in Texas, and I want to share a little bit about what we've been doing over the past few months and what we were planning to do in the upcoming months as well. So let me share this with you all. So we have kind of our main goal for the Austin Stacks chapter is to be a welcoming community that really provides education and resources, which really, I think in the end, enables innovation. So one thing that I love about Stacks is that it is a very welcoming kind of education-minded community. And so we're really continuing that as we start up the chapter here in Austin. We have some upcoming events. So August and September, kind of through a 6-week period, we'll be doing a Clarity Bootcamp. And this is for kind of 2 purposes. So one is developer education. So taking people who are currently devs, giving them intro to Clarity, and hopefully onboarding them kind of into the ecosystem in that way. We'll also have some sessions as part of that are non-technical, like fireside chats kind of thing that will be open to the broader kind of community. So those non-technical people can really feel included, which is always a goal of ours. Then we don't have dates settled quite yet. We want to do an NFT workshop. So this is really kind of resourcing the artists in our community, as well as drawing new people into the community as well. So showing them how to create an NFT on Stacks, as well as some really cool breakouts around how to succeed as an NFT artist, fractionalized NFTs, using NFTs as tickets and paywalls, and also how to be involved even if you're not an artist. We also want to create our own Austin Stacks membership NFT, and this will be kind of a series. It's from a collection of local Austin artists showing off what they love and the culture of Austin, and a way for people to kind of feel like they're on a deeper level of participation with the chapter. We'll also have, some cool member perks as well, and be surveying the community about what they want to see. In October, we'll be going to kind of begin a series of gamified educational events. And so this is really a good community outreach piece. These are going to be fun, big events where people really don't have to come in with any prior stacks or crypto knowledge. So really excited about those. And then what we've done so far, we've had 4 local Austin meetups. We just started at the beginning of May, and I think our largest one had about 25 people. We have 100 members in our meetup group, which is super exciting. We did do a developer workshop during the consensus week, and that went super well. We had a mixture of both developers and non-developers, and people were really into it, asking lots of questions. So super excited to replicate that again in the future. And then we also had 2 happy hours during consensus, went super well. We had a really great attendance, and people were really able to either get to know Stacks for the very first time, or people who were already members getting to know each other and kind of talk about how they can collaborate on some projects. So if you want to connect with us further, we're all about keeping Austin weird. Feel free to join us on Discord or Twitter to keep up with kind of what we're doing. We also, feel free to join our meetup group. And then I included my personal information as well. So feel free to reach out. We would love to hear from you. And yeah, look forward to getting to know all of you better. Thanks.
So I just wanted to give a quick overview of the Stacks Australia community. We've got another intro video that introduces all the other people involved with the community. So I'll link to that in the description. But yeah, basically this is the site. So you go to stacksaustralia.github.io. We've got our DWork, which is basically like the in terms of building out curriculum for what we're doing with the School of Bitcoin and for Stacks Australia community. It's bounties that we're using for that with the Hiro wallet, which is really cool. We've got resources set up. We've got our roadmap, so you can jump onto Notion and see where we're at in real time. Our Twitter feed and our events and a Discord. So if you want to jump on the Discord, more than welcome. The more the merrier. It's going to be pretty cool. So this whole project stemmed out of something called the School of Bitcoin, which is essentially building out if this actually loads up, still loading. I'll have to fix that link, I think. But essentially building out an open curriculum and an ecosystem based on Stacks for people to learn about BTC and other cryptocurrencies. So it's a pretty exciting thing that we're building. And all of this is basically run through the Digital Playhouse, which is a charity. So you can go to digitalplayhouse.com.au and read all about that. So we've got Stacks Australia up on there as well. The last thing I just wanted to mention was the community members. So we've got, like I said, there's a bunch of people contributing to this, and we've got intros for all of them that you can check out in the description. And then finally, we've got our event coming up. So the event that I'm super excited about is a tribrid event that we're calling. So instead of a hybrid, tribrid, which is basically virtual reality, Zoom, and physical spaces all across Australia and New Zealand, actually, and actually even in Chicago. So one of our lead developers is from Chicago, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, you can join us in Zoom, VR, or in the physical meetups as well. So that's coming up on June 2nd. So hope to see everyone there. Cheers.
All right. Thanks everyone for all those amazing updates. We are going to go into the discussion portion of our call now. So I'll give everyone a minute. If you have any questions for any of the grantees, the chapter leads, or the residents, please use the Ask a Question feature at the bottom of the screen. And we will get started with discussion soon. All right, I'm seeing some questions come in. So why don't we get started first with the folks working on Clarity. So we've got the Whitelabel team and Mike from the Clarity Innovation Lab here. Are you guys on?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Mike. Okay, so just to get us started, wanted to talk a little bit about all the awesome work that you guys were doing at the Clarity Innovation Lab. So you've talked about quite a few things that you're working on, including a modular DAO that any team can pick up. Congratulations on your SIPs 13 and 18 moving to accepted status. What I'm wondering is what other Clarity innovations you're really looking forward to, and can you explain a little bit what all of these innovations will unlock for Stacks builders working with Clarity?
Yeah, thanks, Jenny. Yeah, so there's another project that we're working on, which hopefully Marvin can talk about next community call. That's kind of something in the pipeline. Yeah, I mean, SIP 13 is something I'm particularly interested in. It's just reached accepted, so there's a working implementation of a SIP 13 marketplace in the Clarity Lab repo. If anybody wants to take a look at that. And something I'd be quite interested in seeing is like ticketing type applications. I built an application called Loop a while ago. I think that married with SIP 13 could make a really nice ticketing type application. The other thing would be use cases for SIP 18, which is signed structured data, which has all sorts of use cases. One of them would be combining that with the ecosystem DAO project that we're working on, and trying to, like you could create a way for people to send in votes by signing their vote. So you can have an off-chain batched voting process built into that. So they're the things I'm personally excited about.
Awesome, thanks, Mike. And Whitelabel team, do we have you guys on?
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Okay. Hey, Chiara. So you guys recently put on a few in-person courses. I know you're in Miami and you're in New York. That's really exciting, especially for all the chapters that are coming together in the US. What are you finding that students are most excited to build with Clarity right now?
Yeah. So yeah, we just wrapped up the Miami CityCoin partnership camp. And that was really cool because we had quite a pretty good turnout, I would say, at the Miami for Everyone hackathon that happened a couple weeks ago. And we found that, at least for this group, there was a big focus on civic engagement and building specifically for their local community. So we saw things like projects for credential validation using NFTs on chain, Miami specific job boards, community like social gatherings using Miami Coin, City Coin. So yeah, it was really cool to see that local engagement come out from this camp. And I'm really excited to be kicking off the virtual Clarity Camp that I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for. So I'm excited to see what comes out of that too.
Thanks, Giada. Where can we check out more of the work that you all are doing, and how can the community help you out?
Yeah, so I guess the main places to get in contact with us is so Twitter. For me, I'm on Twitter as the Mariaverse, and then we're on Discord as well. So in the Stacks Discord under the Clarity Universe channel is probably the best place to get a hold of us.
Awesome, thank you. All right, and now moving on to our community members working on NFTs. We've got Dan from Boom here and Ileana, who is our NFT resident. So we'll start with Ileana. So you recently put on a huge event that you talked about in your update, NFT Worldwide for Stacks, and that actually quite attracted quite a few big brands and artists. So first of all, you did disclose the brands that were interested. Do you mind talking about them again?
Yeah, so follow-up kind of conversations that we've had with some brands since. There was Milkshake, which is a big music festival in the Netherlands that has, I think, over like 20 or 30,000 attendees each year. They were very interested in understanding how they can use NFTs for ticketing. There was also a brand, I forget the actual name itself, that was a kind of a meatless company that their creative director was very interested in Stacks, and also the Mintery in particular that has applied for the cohort. And we also had a conversation with Philips. So I think for big brands, which was quite interesting for them, is that they want to get into the space, but in a safe way. And they want to be able to use NFTs in order to kind of change consumers into community. So they were very interested in like learning more on that side as well.
Amazing. So have they talked to you a bit about what particularly about Stacks they're interested in? So why are they interested in launching their NFT projects? Why are artists looking at Stacks over other chains?
Yeah, so it's to kind of take it back a bit, the type of attendees that we had at the event, they were very new to the space. It's mainly that they're very curious. They haven't done anything or dabbled in the area. So for us, we wanted to make sure that we use this event as kind of the starting point to raise brand awareness, but in a very kind of natural way. So our point wasn't to go there and say, okay, this is Stacks, this is why you should be in this chain, rather than Ethereum, etc., because it wouldn't make sense to this type of audience. I think the main reason that they were very curious about Stacks is, one, it was like the first point of contact, right? They haven't had the ability or didn't know where to start before. So having somebody there, having Stacks there to be like, okay, we can hold your hand, we can show you the way to start and kind of build that relationship and join them on that journey, I think is kind of the reason why they're interested in Stacks. Mainly that personal contact, I'd say.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, we're looking forward to the next NFT Worldwide. I'm sure you'll share events or event details on that soon.
Of course. Awesome. Thank you.
And Dan, do we have you on? All right, Dan from Boom. So Dan, you talk a lot about developing new fundraising models, especially by leveraging POX. Can you explain why that's important to you and what you think is possible for the Stacks community?
Well, I think is that better?
Yes.
Well, I think that we have a lot of room to experiment, and this is just like one way we're going to be experimenting. There's so many different options that haven't been tried yet in terms of like raising liquidity for creators, for projects, for whatever. And this is just one more kind of thing in that direction. I think it's important because we've got to experiment kind of across the board. And this is a quite honestly like low-hanging fruit kind of way of doing it. And it's just something we have to get out there, try out, find out what works and what doesn't. We've had some experiments already. And like what we're seeing is things like when we've done charity boomboxes or other kind of focused teams that want to focus on fundraising, they're finding some difficulties. And so we're working through things like user experience, liquidity issues, all kinds of different issues that come up when you try and do these things. And I think so that kind of experimentation is super important.
Got it. And we've got a question from Hero for you. So when does the Boom team expect the mining from the wallet feature to go live? Just approximately.
The mining from the what feature? Sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Just the mining from your wallet feature that you mentioned in your update.
Okay, so damn. So when I spoke in the video about mining for New York City coin and Miami coin, I misspoke. It's actually stacking first. But Bowtie Mini reached out, offered some help on actually getting the mining integrated. So that's something I think we can look at really super quickly. I think the biggest feature is really the stacking features. I think we're making a bunch of different stacking options available and trying to make that super easy for everyone. So we'll lay out all the different options, the reward types. Friedger Pool has the option of getting rewarded in XBTC now. So we'll put that up front and make that something that users can select if they want to choose that. And so stacking first, but definitely we want to work on that mining feature. I think that'd be super huge win for everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. All right, up next we've got MattySTX and the Stacks Gov Lab. Do we have you all on? So I see Javi's video. I don't think we have Maddie's video.
No video, but I am here, yeah.
Okay. All right. So actually, this first question goes to you, Maddie. Both of you, I grouped you guys together because both of you are working really hard on supporting community and value creation and distribution, just using very different approaches. So Maddie, as our tokenomics resident, how would you summarize the state of token launches on Stacks? And what advantages and challenges do Stacks token teams currently face?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think there's a lot of, on the plus side, there's a lot of things in the pipeline. And there are entities that are helping bring those to life. You have the Stacks Ventures Accelerator. You have the Stacks Founders Lab that just started, which is kind of like an early, an incubator, if you're familiar with that term, right? An even earlier step than the accelerator. And so you have this infrastructure that is helping bring and attract and mature talent and projects. And then you have the wider ecosystem of trust machines and stuff. And so everything from protocols like Zest and DLC Link that are not even explicitly Stacks, it's about making native Bitcoin more useful. It uses Clarity to do that and Stacks to do that. But I'm excited to see not just protocols on purely Stacks, but also protocols that are working with native Bitcoin and Stacks as well. And so there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline. I think the biggest problem I hear from people is just not knowing where to start with their tokenomics, and also having to do all the work from scratch of like, how should this be structured, as an entity, as a legal structure, as a economic design, as a game theory design, all of that. Like, each team is basically doing that over and over separately, instead of having some templates to follow.
Got it. Thanks. And you mentioned some of these resources in your update as well, but we encourage teams to check out the token design canvas. Anything else you want to point community members to?
Yeah, the tokenomics design canvas is really helpful for people. And I've got some more resources coming out soon that will help teams and builders think through their tokenomics. I think that's mainly it for now. Yeah.
As well as office hours every Monday.
Yep, sorry. Yes. Yeah, those are good to mention. Yeah.
We've seen a lot of tokenomics questions in the community, so everyone go check out the events page. That should have the times listed for Maddie's office hours. They're every Monday, but they kind of rotate between times just to accommodate as many time zones as possible. But anyway, thanks for your help, Maddie, and looking forward to more of your resources.
Cool. Thanks, Jenny.
This one is to Haz. So Haz, you're part of the Stacks Gov Lab. And one really interesting project that you all have worked on is directly compensating community members for their work via the Advocates program. I think this program is super interesting because it seems different from a typical bounties program. Can you talk about how it's different from a typical bounties program?
Yes. Aside, the first thing that comes to mind is retroactive rewards. This does not exist in the Stacks community through grants or partnerships or anything. It's with the Advocates program, we have this retroactive contribution rewards, which extend to actually longer periods. Consistency is more rewarded than big items or big contributions. There's also like this difference in the way that we approached designing the Advocates program. When you look at bounties, they work in more of a top-down manner, where there's like a central authority that assigns tasks and even the value of these tasks. And they also evaluate that these tasks have or contributions that match like a certain criteria. But with Advocates, it's almost the opposite of that. Contributors evaluate each other's contributions and agree on, monetary and moderation policies together, that aim to benefit everyone. The bounty system assigns ownership to that central authority, where the tasks that have been completed is owned by the person or the authority that pays for these bounties, and also the tasks and the treasury is all of these are owned by the same central authority. But with advocates, you have this ownership and the autonomy, being assigned to the contributors, which has really many positive, a huge positive impact and consequences that lend itself to personal and wider community growth, where advocates can be rewarded for the work that they're most excited about, and thus would be incentivized to grow in the direction that they're most called for or excited about.
That's amazing. Thank you, Oz, for explaining that. I know it's a new community paradigm for a lot of people, so I guess the best way for people to internalize this is to check out the advocates program itself, and that's in Discord, yeah?
Yes. You can definitely join us through the advocates and moderation category in the start here. Please introduce yourself in join requests. Advocates community is not just about rewards; it's also about building this seed shape or small, concentrated format of a bigger and more extensible governance models. We wish to have more community delegates. They don't have to be rewarded to be part of the advocates program. They also be enjoying a lot of cultural introductions to the indigenous modes of governance, which aim for more bottom-up governance models that are actually that enrich people's felt autonomy. They feel that they own the treasury. They feel that they're part of a bigger community. So it's much bigger than just the rewards, which is the smallest component in advocates.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, now on to our Stacks Austin community. Virginia and John, do we have you all on?
Hey there.
Hey, y'all. Okay. So I actually remember you all got started back in the fall because there's so much interest in city coins and potentially launching in Austin or ATX coin. And now your members are going so far as to learn Clarity, which is great. But can you talk about how your community hopes that Stacks will help improve Austin? What are they hoping to build that will, I guess, engage on the civic level?
Do you want to start with that one, John?
Yeah, I can briefly speak to that. So Brian, I can't ever remember how to pronounce his last name, Brian G. He's doing most of the interfacing with the government side of things. But from mine and Virginia's perspective, our biggest goal is to create a grassroots community of people here in Austin that do everything, like foodies, artists, people who are concerned about various causes, and really grow the chapter from, I like to say, the grassroots perspective, so that when we do go towards those government entities that will have a lot of the say in how city coins are created, we'll be able to come at them and say, hey, we're not just some Stacks community, Stacks cohort that's coming at you wanting to make a city coin. We have this massive community of local individuals, all who are very different and want to make the community a better place in this particular way. And so our goal is to kind of come at it at a different direction than a lot of other projects have gone at it so far, through building community. So I think that's the easiest way to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I just would echo that. We are definitely, so I actually just came onto the chapter maybe a month ago. So I'm definitely still kind of new here and trying to brainstorm with our community. I definitely see we want to create some platforms, both kind of on chain and off chain, for shared leadership and the ability for people to really have a voice in how Austin grows, both just as a city in general, right? But then also within the Stacks community.
Thanks all, and really looking forward to all the in-person events that you all are putting on. It's really exciting that community is getting together in person for a change. So please keep us updated and share lots of pictures and videos from those events coming up.
For sure. Thanks.
We actually have a meetup tonight. So, if you're in Austin or if you want to pop in the Discord and help us spread the word, we're meeting up in East Austin at the Latchkey at 7 p.m. Central. And we'd love to see lots of people there. So
awesome. Shameless plug, but a good one. See y'all later. All right, up next, we've got Adnan from the Leos team. Adnan, can we hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Great. Okay, so you talked a little bit about the platform that you're building through your grant in your update, but can you describe the incentive model of your Learn to Earn platform in more detail? And how would you say this model improves upon traditional or Web 2 incentive models?
So, we are building in stages we talked about in our presentation. We want to build the tokenomics of incentivizing people in the value chain of education. We call them educators, people who are, aggregators. And so that's coming a little later with how we build the incentives. What we're coming out first is demonstrating with one of our first presentation. This is a course for Stacks education. So like the Austin team talked about, onboarding hundreds of grassroots level people onboarding. We want to bring them on to Stacks with a very simple course. So they try it out by sending, receiving Stacks, downloading and setting up a wallet. The incentive part here would be that we'll allocate some. We're still deciding how much, but when you set yourself up, you get a few Stacks to play around with. That model is going to be an example Stacks incentive, but depending on what kind of courses we build for partners, we'll have a whole detailed tokenomics to be built and thought through, which varies depending on what kind of courses there are.
Amazing, thank you. And where can we keep up with all of these incremental updates?
Oh, absolutely. You can go to leos.guru, GURU, and we'll as and when we we'll keep you informed about our links and how you can get involved. So please go ahead, put in your interest in there and in our interest list, and you'll be notified very promptly.
All right, thank you. Okay, and to wrap up the call, we actually have Dan. He's returning because he's got more to say. And as our most OG community member, I think Dan deserves that privilege. So, Dan.
Nice. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that on top of the creator type of assets, the NFTs that are working on for liquidity in different projects. Friedger, Leo from Sigil, Mitchell and I have been talking also about how we can use these things in a standard way for authentication and authorization within applications. This kind of ties really closely to what Friedger's doing with profiles. But we're looking for also a more complete way to wrap roles and things like this into some of these NFTs. And I think that's really super interesting. It's going to unlock a lot of functionality for folks who have been around for a while and remember Radix. It was a tool that we used for kind of group collaboration within Blockstack. And what we have here is kind of the possibility to kind of unlock this collaboration around NFTs. It could be PFPs, it could be more operationally focused NFTs, but there's a lot of exciting work that's kind of going on here, a lot of discussions going on here. Nothing in a SIP yet, but I just wanted to bring that out to the community, because I think that's like a huge unlock in the future.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. Anything else you want to add?
Purple Pill Friday tomorrow.
I was going to say, shameless plug, Purple Pill Fridays. Awesome discussion that takes place every week. You can join on Twitter Spaces, right?
Right.
Cool. All right. Thanks for that extra bonus update, Dan. And thanks to everyone who joined the call live. We will have this recording up and out sooner than you know it, and it will be edited so that all the glitchy video is not there. But otherwise, in the meantime, I would welcome everyone to share feedback on other updates you want to see. You obviously got to see a ton from our grantees, residents, and chapter leads. But if there are any other groups that you don't feel were represented in the call, please feel free to let us know, and we will definitely try to add them for next month's update call. All right, thanks everybody. Have a good weekend.